Good evening, everyone. Happy summer. This is the July 24th, 2017 Board of Education meeting for the Dearborn School District. Trustee Petchlikoff, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Barry?
Here.
Trustee Hammoud?
Here.
Trustee Nasser?
Here.
Trustee Mead? Absent.
Is absent with, for medical reasons.
Trustee Petlicoff here. Trustee Thorpe?
Here.
President Lane.
Here. Next item.
Pledge of allegiance to the flag. President Lane will lead the Pledge of Allegiance.
You know, I should mention before that, I should apologize for being late. We did have a committee meeting before this, so sorry for the tardiness, but okay. Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. We'd like to call also for a moment of silence for one of our teachers who passed away very tragically, and I know everyone at her school was just very much in shock. Dr. Maleko, do you want to mention anything else? You knew her?
Yeah, I knew her. She was a music teacher at Lori, real positive. It was very tragic that it was during childbirth that she actually passed away. The child is okay. I've met with the family and her husband, and so it was a really tough thing. I saw the message that he put out on Facebook, and there were a lot of staff that went to the funeral. I was able to go and pay my respects, and so it was just very tragic. It was at the end of June. It was after the last board meeting, and so again, really lively. Whenever I'd see her at the honors choir, she just had life, and she loved getting on my social media with a picture too, and she was just really positive and always invited me to her classroom. So it was very sad and tragic, and so our thoughts and prayers are with the family. So if we could.
Her name was?
Ashley Solomon Helper. So her maiden name was Helper, her married name was Solomon, so it was Ashley Solomon Helper.
All right, if we could have a moment of silence, please. Thank you. All right, next item is?
Superintendent's updates, agenda items.
So we do have, as we announced, the retirements, and we don't usually get as many in the summer, but I do want to announce our retirees. We have James Emmerich with 20 years of service, Deborah Kowucha, over 27 years of service, Julie McConaughey, 27 years of service. And I will mention that we're looking at a plan right now that was kind of, we weren't ready, we didn't know that she was going to retire, so we're working on a plan for replacement over there right now. And then we have Sherry Maybaum, over 11 years, and Miriam Zaydan, 17 years of service. And so we'd like to thank them for their years of service and congratulate them on their retirement.
Any non-agenda?
I have a few non-agenda. So I just wanted to make a mention some positive things, actually. We have, at one point, we had 9 schools that were on the focus list. It was 10 when you included the priority. And so we just got a letter from the state superintendent a few weeks ago that all schools have been released. And so there was actually an error with the Fortson that was corrected. And so they really shouldn't have been on in the first place, but that was corrected. And so I just wanted to mention, to our staff moving forward that was the focus school, so we no longer have any schools that are on the focus list, which is a positive. I'd also like to call up right now, because she was not present overseas when she got hired, but I'd like to ask Zaina Tiba to come up and just introduce herself to the board. She was approved at the board meeting as the principal at Lindbergh, so I can ask her to come up. And we'll congratulate her, yes.
Thank you very much. I'm very excited to be here tonight. And although I have worked overseas for the last 9 years, I am a graduate from Fordson High School and also from University of Michigan Dearborn. I'm excited to be back. I bring back with me a wealth of experience and knowledge, and I look forward to helping all students succeed. Thank you.
I do have a couple other things, and so we're glad that she was able to come today. Title II, the Wayne County and the state have been asking boards to pass a resolution to oppose the reduction of that at the federal level. So I would like to, I'm bringing it up now, I've put it in board briefs, and I'd like to possibly bring that to the August meeting for that resolution. It was actually, the state superintendent was promoting that along with the county, Wayne County RISA. So that would be for next month. The other thing is the budget did get approved by the governor. So we did get we call it a $60 increase in the 2X formula. And so that brings our foundation up to $85.92. With the categorical, a little bit extra dollars, it actually ends up being about $86.01. So that's a positive, along with the at-risk, the 31A. We are going to gain 3.1 million, and we've been talking about this at board meetings. We've been really working with our local legislators, so we really appreciate their support as well. And we have a lobbyist group that's been working, that's several districts are part of, Equity and Excellence, and we appreciate their support so that we do have a voice up there in Lansing. And so it is a real positive to see. Now, we're not getting fully funded like the other districts, but we are getting a partial at 33%, which is a good start because we're a hold harmless. So some of that money will definitely go to help our at-risk students. So I just wanted to mention that as a positive. And I got just two other things. I was dialoguing a little bit with Trustee Thorpe today, and we had the relative policy that was passed last month. And so I do want to let everybody know that Human Resources right now has sent out surveys to all supervisors in the district, and we're just currently looking at, where there might be relatives and where we might need to make some adjustments with that. And even though some of the areas are the way the board defined it, like didn't define cousin or uncle, people still have to declare that when they're coming for employment in the district. So, and I know you had mentioned it,
Yes,
Trustee
I
Pelichkov. So we're going to continue with that, even though, and so right now we have a Google survey that went out to all supervisors so we can monitor that, and so HR is on top of that. And then the other thing I just wanted to mention, a lot of you know that I'm active in the district on social media, and my philosophy on that is really one of promoting the district, promoting the programs. And this year I did have over 400 school visits. People ask me, well, what did you get? Well, it's that competitive. It's in my goals for the board, and I just think it's really important for me to be out in the buildings, guiding instruction, providing support, or being at different functions, and it's a real positive. So what you'll always see from me is positive. I don't engage in any negative things or anything on social media. I only respond to positive, and I'm promoting the district, try to promote the vision sign all the time, and that's kind of my philosophy with what we're doing. I do have a very I think between David Musson and I, we have a system where I can go through one social media through WordPress, and it literally will branch out into 5 by just doing one push out through the site called IFTT. It makes it a little easier for me. And the other thing I do is Instagram pushes into Facebook and Twitter. So a lot of times people might think I'm originating that on Facebook, but it's not. It's actually going in from Instagram. Instagram is where I've really increased a lot of the student following, which has been a real positive. And one of the things, as you all know, we took advantage of the snow days, and that's where I really increased the following by kind of dialoguing with the students. And then I think the students really know, too, to watch about being careful not to send out negative things, because a couple times it did happen. And then the students learned a lesson. I think the principal spoke to them. We're not punitive. We just wanted them to learn. And they actually tweeted out apologies. And then all the students saw that, the superintendent is watching what's going on and trying to, because we know that social media it's there, and so we can either engage it in the positive or choose not to. So I've chosen to engage students in the positive domain, and I think it really has helped. And sometimes there's a little bit of joking and good taste with the students, but they do love getting in those selfie and those other photos, and that's why I've continued with it. So I just wanted to let everybody know that's kind of my position when I go and I'm promoting the district. And I will send it out. So if I do go to school, I'm trying to promote that school as well. And so everybody would know, a lot of you as trustees are at a lot of these events with me. And so I appreciate your support too as we're promoting the district. So thank you.
And I will say with the social media, that actually, when you talk about the students and the negative, the few times that it has been a real detriment to them, so maybe they will continue to learn about this, is the times that we've had behavior issues with students, and they were all engaged in this social media to encourage each other in some very poor choices. So they're knowing that we're looking, we're watching, we're reading, might make them rethink how they interact with each other as well when they're using social media.
Well, and when that situation specifically happened at one of the schools, I then put out a tweet after saying, it's okay, let's just be responsible, everyone makes mistakes, but let's just be responsible with what we're writing all over social media. And, through HR and employment, we check Google before we hire people. So as people, I've gone to Henry Ford College in the pre-education and I presented to the students and say, be careful, because when we're going and looking to hire people, people are checking what's out there on social media as well.
I
So.
Googled every superintendent choice that there was. He passed. He didn't have anything online that shocked me.
Dr. Maleko, I also want to mention that we did do an episode as well on happenings in
Yes.
Dearborn schools with the past trustee, President
Yes.
Bazzi and I, and we did talk about all of this.
We
And
did.
also looking at things from a legal perspective as well. But not only for our students to pay attention what they post online, but in a way, when you're speaking about the schools in the district, you are representing the district if you are an employee as well. So to be careful in that regard and to watch out for different things like what you're putting out on social media. And a lot of times we see, whether it's students or faculty, that could be subjected to becoming victims of crimes when they put out certain things. Like if they just pass their driver's test and all of a sudden they have a picture of their driver's license out there, and that's happened before. People are out there looking for your information, so we have to
sure.
be very careful as to what we're putting out there.
And I appreciate you going on the show, and I can actually, that's on YouTube now,
Yeah.
indefinite, so we can pump that out again to remind people kind of on an annual basis,
Right.
so.
Thank you.
And we always love, I know, having the trustees come on the show. I know Trustee Thorpe is interested in coming on in September, so, thank you.
Okay, next item.
Recognition and acknowledgments. I
Yeah.
was going to say,
I
at this
don't
time of year, there's usually nothing.
I do think it's worth mentioning again. I was really impressed with the story of, I'm always impressed with all of the graduates. It's the greatest day to see those happy faces, and their families are just, they've made a real accomplishment. But at Fordson, the valedictorian really impressed me when somebody told me when we were up on the stage that he had turned down Harvard University so that he could go to University of Michigan. Woo-woo. But also because he was, I
Getting
think,
the-
the fourth Brehm Scholar in
Right.
his family. It's just so awesome, and it's a real tribute to everybody involved, to him first and foremost, to his family, but to everybody at Fordson and University of Michigan. So it was really cool. I'm very proud of that, and all of our graduates.
I'm sorry, I do have one. I'm going to ask Dr. Chokol to come up under other, just recognition of donation, if you could, because we didn't think we were going to have any, and then we had just one item in the executive directors.
A donation of assorted auto parts has been offered to Etzel Ford High School by Westbourne Chrysler to be used in the auto lab.
Nice.
So we appreciate their donation.
And surprise, people are still taking shop classes.
There's still cars.
Yes,
Yeah,
there
this would
is.
fit under here. if you don't
Yes.
mind. Under recognition, I guess I'd like to recognize and thank our employees. I saw that attendance incentive report.
Yes. Yeah.
Very, very nice. I know this was talked about for a long time. I'd like to recognize our DFT members and our DFSE members. Obviously, those are our two biggest units. 36% of the employees received incentive and 49% of DFT. That's amazing. I mean, I know there's a little cost to that, but there's a huge savings to that too.
Sure.
And I know when the teachers are in the classroom compared to sub, how do you put a value on something like that? So yeah, thank you to all of our employees for a good attendance record.
Well, and I appreciate you mentioning that too, Trustee Barry, because we did increase the incentive, as you're aware, for this year. And so it is showing that it is help. It's not just the dollar value, it's like you said, the quality of instruction in the
Sure,
class. So
sure.
appreciate you mentioning that.
But even the dollar value is pretty significant.
Yes.
It's very significant. so-
It makes an impact.
Yes, a million plus or minus. Okay, where were we?
Citizen participation, but I have no blue cards,
Okay.
so we will just
Alright.
move right along to approval of minutes. Approval of minutes of the following Dearborn Board of Education meetings, P12, regular P12 meeting, June 26, 2017, Board Report 1701. Make any necessary corrections and move approval of these minutes.
So moved.
Support.
Okay, does anyone want to make any changes? I did want to add two things onto page 6. It talks about citizen participation, and number 1 was Mr. Charles McDonald, and it just says process. So Janet is right on the next page there. So I thought if we added process of board appointment, that would make it clear what his comment was about. And then number 3, maybe we could add, the young man that got up also showed a portrait of Mr. Barry, so we can add that as well. Anyone notice anything else? Are there any objections, deletions, subtractions, any other errors? If not, can I attach a unanimous affirmative vote to this?
Yes,
Looks like
thank you.
yes. Okay, great. Okay,
Quick comment.
yes, Trustee Barry.
This has been a very positive meeting. I hope to continue it that way too, but I know my remarks from the last meeting made into the minutes, so thank you to Joanne. Regarding the last instructions I received before the June 12th meeting, that a vote of 4 necessary, even if a trustee decides to recuse him or herself from the process was needed. And at this point, I've been getting some phone calls regarding where we're at with the lawsuit, and my comments have been, I can't comment on anything right now. But is there anything we can update on? Did we hear anything from Mr. Sutton? It's been a while.
I don't have any updates
Did we-
from him under these.
You even hear from him?
I don't think
I
I-
spoke to
you-
him, and he's spoken to Mr. Courier, and there is another attorney involved, and then there's your attorney involved. So I'm anticipating that we will get a legal opinion, but it's going to be a while.
Sure, sure.
So, and the other, well, so we will have a closed session on that, but where it's at,
Sure, no, I don't want
That's
to
where
get into
it's
where
at.
it's at. I just want to, kind of update our constituents that we're waiting for a legal opinion from Mr. Sutton. Thank you.